As I was walking my way home from work one night, I noticed a woman in front of me turn into a dark alley. Odd, I thought, for the woman must have been new to this part of the city, because everyone on this side knows never to walk into the alleys at night, especially not alone. I quickly made my way towards the entrance of the alley she walked into to warn her, but stopped short when I saw a second person down here as well. The alley was bright enough to see what was happening with what little light shone through from the nearby street lamps. It was in the heart of Cannibal Alley that I saw the figure creeping in the shadows. The figure stalked the woman who foolishly entered, like a predator would stalk a prey before her to kill. It began drawing closer to her with each step it took until it was close enough to strike. The woman screamed in terror as she was knocked down onto the ground. I finally could see well enough to notice the figure was a small boy, no older than perhaps 7 or 8 years old. The boy's shirt was shredded, and he had on torn, faded jeans and no shoes on his feet. The woman easily overpowered the boy and knocked him on his back. She then proceeded to turn back and quicken her pace towards the entrance. Relieved that the woman was okay, I made a move to walk away when I heard the woman scream for a second time. The same little boy from before had entangled himself around her leg and didn't seem to want to let go. When she made a move to kick him off of her leg, the boy sunk his teeth into her. The woman cried out in pain and fell once again into the ground and struggled to release the boy from his iron grip as his teeth found their way deeper into her leg. She started to scream for help, but that only seemed to attract more of them. I saw more people in the alley make their way towards the woman. They were far older than a boy, and a few men and women were among them. The alleyway dwellers, each filthier looking than the rest. Full appearances show that they haven't had a decent meal in days, for I saw the same hunger in their eyes as they looked on at the poor woman. Her screams went on deaf ears as they made their way towards her. Even from a distance, I could hear the carnage that was now occurring. Like animals, they tore into her from head to toe, and her screams echoed into the night. She looked towards the entrance of the alley where I stood with tears in her eyes and begged for help. I wanted desperately to help, tried to even, but fear kept me rooted to this very spot. They then began to drag her into the shadows, along with them, until I could no longer hear her screams. I found the silence disturbing, for at least when I heard her scream, I knew she was still alive. I heard a gasp and saw a small group of people standing behind me. I didn't know how long they've been standing there. I could tell by their expressions that they too witnessed the exact same scene that played out in that dark alley. They must have heard her screams earlier and came to look. I can still remember hearing the woman's screams as she begged for help that one last time. We all just stood here and watched as they dragged her away. We could have prevented her tragic fate and only have ourselves to blame. I could tell that the others must have come to the same conclusion, for their facial expressions could no longer mask the guilt we all now shared. I'm not sure how long we stood there looking in the dark alley replaying the scenes that would surely haunt us for the rest of our lives. Soon they all began to disperse one by one, never making eye contact with one another. An older woman and I were the only ones left, and when we looked at each other, I saw the sadness in her eyes, as I'm sure mirrored my own. She turned around and walked off with a heavy sigh, her composure slightly deflated. I watched her go for a bit and looked back down the dark alley one last time, before I too walked away with my head down and headed home to try and forget the image that I saw that night in the heart of Cannibal Alley. As always, if you want to listen to more of these short stories, let me know down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you soon.